All right. Welcome to another wine training on Saturday. What's the date today? Today is the 12th of February. And I am going to go over some tips on how to do a wine tasting. So, the reason I'm going over this is because you have a business, right? Your business is not to get wine delivered to your door and drink it all, which I actually like to do, but that's not your business. Your business is to get that wine club out there, get people to sign up, and then also get people to sign up for the business itself. So one of the things you can do is wine tastings. Whether you're doing a wine tasting where you're going somewhere or bringing people to your house and doing, a face-to-face wine tasting, which which is all great and dandy. Of course, be safe for COVID reasons, but you also can do one virtually, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to go over both. Of course, our wonderful Sheila Matchett has made a page. Imagine that on how to actually do the virtual tasting. So I'm going to use that as a tool to show you. But first, I'm going to go over how to do one in person. So there's a couple different things that you want to do first. Is number one, before you even schedule your wine tasting, make sure that you have the right wines that you want to give to the people that you're going to be tasting, and have a variety. Don't take one type of wine, or don't take two bottles. All right, have a variety. Have some whites. Have a rosé. Have a red. Have a Moscato. A Moscato is great because it's a little bit sweeter wine, which some people don't really know what that's like. The other thing you'll want to do is make sure you have the right items. So you have glasses. You have and honestly, unless you're dealing with like a super wine snob that only will drink wine out of a the right kind of glass, you can use plastic cups. You can use just any type of glass. You don't have to go out and spend a ton of money on things to do this wine tasting. You can you can really use anything. So then what you're going to want to do is also make sure that you have, of course, wine openers. You can use a decanter to decant some of the bigger wines, the cabs that we have, the Syrah that we have, things like that. And then let's see. Oh yeah. So then you want to, once you figured out your wines, you're also going to want to try to pair those wines with types of food. So now that is going to be one of my other trainings that I'm going to do. Is I'm going to go over how to pair wines with food, because that is a big deal. You don't want to pair spicy food with a really high alcohol wine, right? Not going to go over well, especially with your guests. So you want to keep it simple, keep it easy. Nuts, fruits, meats, cheeses, things like that. Very, very simple. And you don't want to have a huge display of food, right? It's all about the wine. So you could even have little containers for each person that is going to show up, and have it already made for them, right? So it's got each thing for each person. And so people aren't going up and putting their hands in everything. Then what you're going to do is you're going to invite, right? So inviting, several different ways you can invite. What I want to say about the invite is, if you're having multiple wine tastings, do not invite the same people every time. If you start having the same people every time show up to your wine tastings and they're not joining your wine club, you're just throwing your wine away. You're wasting it. So you want to invite different people, different groups of people, right? And you want to do it 3 to 4 weeks in advance. The further out probably is better. And that gives them a chance to, number one, RSVP to you. And number two, put it in their schedule so they know that they're going to make that wine tasting. And then when it gets closer to the actual time of the wine tasting, follow up with the people that RSVP'd with you. Make sure that they are going to show up. Last thing you want to do is show up to your own wine tasting and nobody's there, right? So make sure that you know who's going to show up. And again, present it as a wine tasting. You're not having a party. You're not it's about your business. All right. You want to make it fun. You want to make it enjoyable, but you also want to make sure that they understand that you're not just giving them free wine. You're trying to pitch your business, your wine club, right? So of course it is fun to have a wine tasting at your house where your family comes over and friends and neighbors, things like that. That is a fun wine tasting. I love doing that. Sometimes that's not about selling your wine club or pitching your wine club or wine business. But when you are doing an actual tasting, you want to make sure that people understand that it is a business. It is something that you are trying to get people to sign up for. So then the day of, don't show up. Like, let's say you're having your wine tasting at 5 o'clock in the afternoon, nighttime. Don't show up at 5. Get there early, set up, make sure everything is good to go. You want to make sure that your presentation is up in the front, so not like a classroom, but you don't want to be talking to somebody like this and there's people behind you. You want to be kind of the center of attention. And like I said, when you go over your wines, honestly, sometimes it's good to taste your wines first. So before people show up, open them up, let them air out, let them breathe, and then taste it. Make sure that wine is actually good. It hasn't been corked. It's not a bad wine. Sometimes wine goes bad if it's sitting in heat. Maybe on the delivery it was in heat, something like that. So make sure you have good wine. And when I say good wine, I mean it hasn't gone bad. All of our wine is amazing. So I shouldn't have to say that actually. But then once you've set up everything, make sure all your goodies are out, your food and stuff. You also want to have either a business card or something that they can have your information also. And another thing which is really good to have is notepads with pens that they can use. All right. Maybe they are really interested in wine and they want to take notes. They want to say, I like this one. And when you finally are doing the wine tasting, be interactive with them. Ask them, hey Niall, what did you get out of that wine? What did you taste? And if they don't know, that's okay. Don't let them sit there and think for 5 minutes. Move on to the next person. Be interactive. Be you want to look like you know what you're talking about, right? So that is that's a good thing. So then when you're going through the wine tasting itself, when people start showing up, sorry, I want to say this too. You also want to have some water and maybe some other drinks. You might have people that actually don't drink wine, but they're interested in seeing what you're doing to maybe join the business itself. So have a couple other drinks available, maybe some sodas, maybe some juices. Definitely have water, and water is huge so they can cleanse their palate also. All right. So then when you're doing the wine tasting, start off lightest and driest to sweet. All right. So that means you're going to have the whites first. You could even start off with the sparkling first and then move on to the whites, maybe the Chardonnay. And then your reds. And with reds, it's you want to start off with like your Pinot, move on to like Merlot, Syrah, Cab, kind of that direction. You want to keep them your less bold to two boldest wines, right? And then last but not least, your sweet wines. All right. Then when you're going through the tasting, you don't want to pour them a full glass. A tasting is like an ounce. It's very small, but they should be able to get maybe two good mouthfuls of wine, maybe three. All right. You really don't want to pour them a full glass, because by the third, fourth tasting, they're done, you know. And with that being said, you don't want to have 10 wines that you're tasting. Pick, like I said, pick one sparkling, one rosé, whether it's the sparkling rosé or you know, the Tanya rosé, or and then a couple of reds, maybe two. You could have 3 reds at the most. 5 wines is kind of max for tasting. You don't want to go over 5 wines. And when you're doing the tasting and you've poured your wines, walk through the 5 S's. All right. And I'll go over the 5 S's in a minute, but you're going to walk through the 5 S's and I'll go over them now. Right. So the first thing you're going to do is you're going to sight. What does that wine look like? All right. Hold it up in the glass. Look through the wine, see how dark it is, how what the colors are. Even Chardonnay's got different colors in it, different brightnesses to it, right? And so you want to look at that. Then you want to smell it. All right. So have them swirl it in their glass, show them how to swirl it in their glass, and then they want to smell it. That's where you can get people involved. What do you smell? You know, what are you feeling when you take a sniff? And let them know. Don't stick your nose in there and take a big, you know, you want to do kind of a light sniff, you know, and even sometimes stick your nose. Don't stick your nose right in the glass. Put it back away. See if you can smell it from a little bit farther back. And then once you do that, take a swig. Like, put a little bit in your mouth, swirl it around in your mouth, right? That's where you're going to get your taste from, and let them know that you want that wine to hit all corners of your mouth, all edges of your mouth, right? And then get your audience involved again. Ask questions. What are you tasting? I'm tasting this. And a lot of people won't know what they're tasting. They won't understand what they're tasting. But wine is so amazing because, especially ours, has so many different layers to it, right? So you really want to get them involved. And then of course the last thing is either spit it out. Maybe they don't drink wine. You know what? We have a lot of people that don't drink wine in this wine club. Doesn't mean they can't taste the wine. You can taste the wine and spit it out. If you don't drink wine, you know what? That's fine. Now, maybe it's for religious reasons, you know, whatnot, that's okay. But if you just don't drink wine because you don't like the taste of it, well, guess what? You're in a wine business. At least do it once. Taste it. You know, write down the notes so you don't have to do it again. But taste it and really try to figure out what you're getting out of the wine. So yeah. So then once they've taken that swig, now it's time to get them involved with the food, right? Okay, think about what you tasted with that first swig. All right, now what I want you to do is take another or eat some food and then take another drink. All right, and that's why you want to give them enough to have at least two or three drinks out of it, right? Because that food is going to change everything about that wine. It's going to be amazing. I took a wine course one time, and my favorite part of the wine course was when we had it was a Sauvignon Blanc, and the instructor made me take a bite of a lemon. And I'm sure everybody here at some point in their lifetime has taken a bite of a lemon, but it was absolutely amazing the difference it made when we drank that Sauvignon Blanc and took a bite of the lemon. It was unbelievable. So you really play around with the food and the wine. Do your research. You can ask me, you can ask Peter in Skype. You can put it in your Skype group. Maybe other people know quite a bit about wine and tastings, but play around with it. Google search. Google is our best friend, right? We can always find what to pair with certain wines. And when I say food, like I said, keep it simple. Don't bring a big juicy steak to the table. You know, when you're doing a wine tasting, that's kind of, I mean, you can, but kind of overboard. You don't have to. And there's other things that you can do tastings with. So once you've done that, once you've gone through the tastings, you've gone through all your wines, then it's time to talk business. All right. Tell them about your wine club. Tell them about 3 and Free. That's probably one of the best parts of this wine club is, well, besides the wine, is the 3 and Free, you know, and we don't even have to say 3 and Free in this one. 1 and it's free every 3rd month, right? How amazing is that? So let them know and be excited about it. You know, don't be like, oh yeah, we have a wine club and if you sign somebody up under you, you know, don't be like that. Be excited, you know, get amped, right? And then once you've gone over the business, that's kind of your wine tasting. Finish it up, let them know, hey, here's my website. You can sign up on that. Have cards that you can hand out, how they can sign up. You know what you could do? Have in our back office, there is a place where you can have them fill out a document and you can sign them up yourself. You want to close. You want to make sure that you're closing with them. Don't let them leave and not have their information. Make sure they sign, you know, you get their lead, right? So you can drip on them. You can follow up with them. Like I said, you don't want to keep inviting the same people to a wine tasting. So you want to stay in touch with them. Hey, you were interested in the wine. Let's join. Let's get you, you know, even for a month, just so you can get your own wine and you can enjoy what I get, right? And then at the end, if you have any leftover wine, you know, yeah, you can pour some wine. That being said, let's say you pick your 4 or 5 bottles that you're going to do wine tasting. Don't bring 10 bottles each of that wine. Bring a couple. You know, if you have 10 people showing up your wine tasting, 2 bottles is fine. You know, you don't need to bring 5 bottles because you're only pouring this much. You're not there to have a party. You're not there to get people drunk. Things like that. You know, don't have a free for all with it. You are in charge of the wine. You pour the wine. Nobody else pours your wine. I've had a wine tasting where I actually had a friend in charge of the wine, you know, so I knew people weren't like, if I'm over here talking to somebody else, people aren't going and grabbing the wine and pouring it, right? So keep control of your wine also. All right. I think that's pretty much the face-to-face wine tasting. Now I'm going to go over, I'm going to show you Sheila's page that she made. It's pretty awesome. I'm going to share the screen here and I'm going to go over virtual wine tasting. It's kind of the same, minus the fact that you're face-to-face with people and you're giving them your wine, you know, a little bit different. So there's a few pointers that I want to show and share. So I'll share the screen. Yeah, there it is. Awesome. All right. So this is, again, it's 5e95.com. If you want to see her page, it's great. This is an online wine tasting, right? So presenting your virtual online wine tasting. One of the first things that you want to do is, again, you want to select what platform you're going to use on. She's got on here Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, Zoom, Microsoft Teams. You know, some people might be looking at that and think, you know, what is Microsoft Teams? But like I said, Google is your best friend. You can go on and search, figure that out. Once you've done that, you're going to have to schedule the virtual wine tasting. Now, you want to make sure you're having it at the right time. You don't want to have a virtual wine tasting at 9 o'clock in the morning, probably. You probably want to do it in the evening when people are home from work. They're sitting back, they're ready to have a glass of wine. Or on a Saturday, you can have it a little bit earlier on a Saturday or a Sunday, right? Maybe people get home from church and they want to do something fun. Boom, have a virtual wine tasting. So weekends are a great time, right? And virtual wine tasting and face-to-face wine tasting, same thing. You still want to give people enough time. So 3 to 4 weeks notification so they can RSVP to you and you can get the link out to them. And then again, follow up with them once you've got that RSVP, right? Follow up with those people. All right. So then onto the wine tasting event itself. So I love this part. She goes over the 5 S's. So C, that's looking at the wine glass. So when you're on the presentation itself, when you're on the platform that you're using, whether, let's say Zoom's a great one, right? You want to have a glass. You want to have your wine set up in front of you. Your food. And this is a good thing. When you do the invitation, maybe have all this figured out already. Tell them we are going to be tasting this, and this, and give them your link. If they want to order the wine and taste with you, give them your link. Let them know, hey, you can actually get wine delivered to your door, and then we can do the wine tasting once you've got your wine, things like that. But when you're doing the actual tasting, you want to pour yourself wine. You want to show the wine in the screen on the platform, right? And then you want to go over the 5 S's. So C, you want to look at it. C, explain to your audience what you are seeing. All right. It's different on a computer, so they might not be seeing the same thing you're seeing. Okay. So, or they might not even have the wine that you're talking about there. So you want to explain it. And then you want to swirl it, right? You want to swirl it. See how the legs fall on the glass, right? Those legs have a few different meanings. How much sugar is in the wine? How much alcohol is in the wine? How fast the legs fall means different things, right? And how many legs are on it means different things, right? Then once you've done the swirl, then you want to do the sniff. Right? The sniff is the same as the C. You want to explain what you're sniffing, what you're smelling. Really get into it, keep your audience involved. And then to the best part, the sip, right? Take a sip. You don't want to take a huge chug, you don't want to chug your wine. You want to just take a little sip, get enough in there to swirl it around in your mouth, get, like I said, on all edges, and then either swallow it or spit it out. It is okay to spit out your wine. I know a lot of people say, oh, that's such a waste of wine. Well, guess what? If you're doing a wine taste, like an actual wine event tasting, I've been to a wine event tasting where there are hundreds of wines. There's absolutely no way you can make it through 100 wines by taking a drink of each one. Not going to happen. So it's okay to spit. So once you've done that, again, taste what you feel. Taste the finish. The finish is actually what the finish is how long that wine stays in your mouth after you've actually swallowed it or spit it out, right? How long you can get something from that wine, right? So then, and some of our big wines, they have long finishes, right? So now once you've done that, once you've gone over that and you've gone over all your wines, then again, it comes back down. Same thing as face to face. It comes down to your presenting the opportunity, right? You want to tell them about the customer. Again, be excited. Tell them about the referral program and the business opportunity. And I actually didn't go over this about the face-to-face one, but marketing solutions, Rory and Tanya have laid something down in front of us that is huge. I've never, doing this for a long time. I've never seen this before, but they literally give you leads to present your business to, you know? So let people know that. Get your marketing solutions out there. Tell them about the grapevine. Tell them about everything that we have, right? And then once you've done that, this is your action plan, right? This is where number one, you're gonna answer questions. You want to make sure that everybody that you have on the Zoom, they, their answers or their questions are answered, right? So most likely they will have questions, right? And then get their contact information. That's a big one. You want to make sure that you can follow up with them. Don't just get them on Zoom and not get their information. Okay. Another thing that I didn't really mention in the face-to-face one is you can do a giveaway. You can have, hey, when you show up, we're going to give you out one raffle ticket. And then at the end, if you're still there, you haven't left, we're going to do a drawing, and you're going to get a free bottle of wine. All right. Or the first person to become a customer is going to get an extra bottle of wine. All right. Have something. You can do the same thing on virtual. Tell them, hey, first person to become a customer, I'm going to send them a bottle of wine. All right. Or, or a shipment of wine. Who knows? Whatever you want to do. It's your business, right? And then the other thing is have a way for them to sign up, like, how we have Response Magic. Get them to your website, tell them to sign up in Response Magic for emails. So and then use Response Magic and send the emails. All right. Again, back down to here. Before you close your event, make sure that you have a way to connect with you on your platforms. Like I said, social media, Instagram, phone, email, that works great. She's got a picture here that you could use as a card, like a business card or a postcard that you could hand out. Let's see. I think that's pretty much virtual wine tasting. Virtual wine tasting is a little bit different because you're not face to face. You don't get that interaction, but you can do your best. It's always good to, like I said at the beginning, it's always good to let them know what you're going to be tasting and what kind of foods. Because if they are going to get their own wines, tell them, hey, I'm going to be pairing it with these foods, so you get the same foods, and then you can see what I'm tasting also. All right. So again, this is her page. Obviously I think she's got a page for everything. So I'm going to stop my share there. And that,
Sean, you want to put her link in the chat to that page for everybody?
Yeah, absolutely. How do I do that here? Copy. There you are. Everybody can go to that, check that out. And here's another thing. If let's say you want to have a wine tasting, but you are not comfortable giving a wine tasting, talk to your MSI, talk to your instructor. Maybe they'll be willing to put on a virtual wine tasting with you, or maybe you're going to have a one where everybody's gathering up. Of course, I'm on the West Coast. Maybe one of my students is on the East Coast and they want to have a wine tasting. Get me on Zoom and I can go over some wine. Be creative with it. If you're uncomfortable doing it, I've thrown several wine tasting when I first started this business. I threw several wine tastings, and I actually had my instructor come and talk at the wine tasting because I wasn't super confident in what I was talking about. All right. So lots of different ways to do it. All right. Or you can, get a page up like that and make a page and then have them or go over the page. Lots of different things you can do. So is Brett here? Anybody seen Brett?
No, I do not.
I'm speaking with him now.
okay.
He's telling me where he posted a PDF. But we do have Stacy back up.
I can talk everybody through it.
Yeah, and Stacy, Brett's saying he posted a PDF. Goodness. And then there's a Google Drive too. So if you need that, go ahead and pull that up. If not, then yeah, Sean Stacy can walk everybody through the same thing.
So for those, it's easiest. Those of you that believe you're getting a 1099 or those that earned over $600 or $599, we'll just cover ourselves in 2021 from Wine Ambassador specifically. What you can do right now, and I'll give you guys time to do it, you can minimize this Zoom call and I can walk you through it, where you can go log into your back office. Because I'm not going to show you my page because of the income disclaimer stuff. But just go ahead and hit the little minus sign to minimize this screen down to your, oh, here comes Brett right now.
Good deal.
Maybe I won't be walking you through it.
I don't see him. Would you already?
He's down at the bottom getting his audio in.
Gotcha.
There he is.
There we go.
What's up? What's up?
Hey, I was just going to walk him through it.
Woo! So real quick, I posted in the Wine Ambassador Facebook group a PDF on exactly how to access your 1099. So if you wouldn't mind, make sure everybody has access to that. It's 7 slides, real easy to understand. I can walk you through it verbally, but you're gonna log into your Wine Ambassador account. You're gonna click on My Wallet. You're gonna go to the bottom left corner, click on iPayout. It's gonna open up the Global e-wallet. You'll click on Accounts, and in the bottom right corner, you'll be able to access your 1099s. All right. Have a blessed day. I gotta get back to my rough day here on a Saturday.
I see that. And, stay safe. Oh my goodness. And that there, folks, is our president of our wine club, living life to the fullest, right? So I'm going to get to Facebook here and see if I can pull up that PDF quick.
So if you're not in the Wine Ambassador official Facebook group, then hopefully your instructor is, and you want to get headed to that right away. Or two up to your MSI, Stacy, Sean, myself, whoever your MSI is, and we will get you in that group or get that PDF to you, because obviously it seems like it's going to be pretty simple.
And I said this at the last training, but I wasn't actually kidding about it. If you go on there and try to get approved to get into that Facebook group and you don't answer the questions, you will not get approved.
Yes, thank you.
So, and I've already seen since last Wednesday or Saturday, I've already seen several people try to get in there and they haven't answered the questions. So,
and a lot of you are going to say the questions aren't there. They are. You have to scroll down a little bit. They're there. There's 4 questions.
Yeah.
And no, we're not letting you in. It's us MSIs that are the approvers and disapprovers. So we know our students. All right, I'm bringing this PDF up.
But we don't know everybody else's, so that's why it's critical.
Correct. All right, so I've got this up. I'm going to share my screen quick.
And Sean posted Sheila's page for the virtual wine tasting in chat. So you should be able to just click on that and pop it open. And you can bookmark it, look at it later. But right now you want to pay attention to this PDF Stacy's doing.
All right. So let me see if I can zoom it up. Whoa. Throw myself back here. All right. So you're going to just log in. You click this arrow here to log into your Wine Ambassador back office. If you don't have it already bookmarked to log yourself in. There is the login page. Put in your email address or your member ID and your password. If you can't remember your password, you can hit forgot password. And then when you get your new password, please write it down and have RoboForm or Google save it for you. Now this is the first page that you come to. It's got, you know, your customer support and this fun little thing. And underneath it is usually the video of the vineyard, but we want to concentrate here. You click on the hamburger, the 3 little white lines, and come over here to My Wallet. It comes to this page. This has all your money information that if you've earned any income and you've got something sitting in your wallet, he's blocked it out, but yours will be filled with numbers, hopefully. But at the bottom of all that is the go to iPayout, or you can actually click this one here. I did that just to see what it did. I like to play. And it then takes you to your payout, your iPayout. If you haven't set it up, please take the time. You cannot set it up until you've earned commission, okay? But when you earn commission, you need to come in here and get it all set up. My 1099 actually had my Cottage Grove, Minnesota address on it instead of my Texas address because I never came back in here to change it. It is changed now, but you're gonna come here, we should just do a training on the iPayout form, how to do it all and how to get your money moving around. But this is what your screen is going to show, and you're going to click on My Account, the magnifying glass here. Now, he says located towards the right corner. What he means is the right bottom corner. It is down in the bottom corner, and you just click on 2021. And it opens it up, and you can print it out like I did. And it's literally that easy, guys. They can't make it any easier. When I found it, I was like, hey, that was easy. But when it wasn't there, we were all kind of scrambling. But it's there now. And, if you haven't signed a personal customer or a member, an ambassador, you probably don't need to do this step yet. Get busy so that you get to do this step next time. And they don't come out, all 1099s have to be out legally by January 31st. Ours is there now. It's still the first half of February. I'm good with that. I never have my tax stuff ready till.
Yeah, me neither.
I
I posted that form that Stacy was looking at in the chat.
Thank you, Sean. I see that.
So you can actually go in there and click on that, and it'll.
Yeah, and I know there was some people having a hard time finding it, but it was there a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
When I went there, it was not.
The button wasn't working.
Correct.
But it was there. But for some reason that button wasn't working for a few. But yeah, it was there because Stephanie, for whatever reason, she's got her taxes done by the end of the first week of January. She already had it printed out and showed me how to do it.
All right.
Over.
That's all I got. Do we want to take questions, or we just want to move on to?
I'm pretty excited to see what Rory's got going, what he's going to show us next.
All right.
What do you think, Niall?
If Roy's ready, yeah. He's probably not. Was planning on for 1 o'clock, so yeah, I'd go ahead and do some Q&A if you want to.
I'm gonna ask Renee. Renee has a question. If you guys want to figure that out with Rory, and then I'll just do question and answers until you guys figure that out. Yeah.
Right.
All right.
At 5 minutes to the hour, there won't be any more new hands being raised. We don't want to go over.
Yeah. Go ahead, Renee.
Because we've been
Yeah,
going
thanks.
over on Q&As.
Yeah, I just wanted to ask if there's somebody who does want to spit out their wine and taste as some people would taste in a regular winery. Is there a nice way of doing it? A little finesse to it? Do you give them a separate cup? Do you replace that cup every time you change your wine? You know, if somebody says spit out to me, I think of an old movie with a spittoon on the floor.
Yeah.
I mean, how do you do it?
Yeah. Yeah. So you can have a separate cup for them to spit in. If you go to actual wineries, they do have spittoons. They'll have little things that you can either dump the wine into or spit into.
Oh, good.
But yeah, you can do an extra cup, give them an extra plastic cup or something, or paper cup.
Renee, I've never ever had somebody use a spittoon when I do the tastings. Like I do when we go do ours, because you're tasting like 30 or 60 wines.
Yeah.
Right.
I've never, like, we used to have them out there. We've tried it, but it's good to have like just another plastic cup for those that want it. There's some people that they're like, oh, I know, I'm just want to, that's fine. But I've never really seen it too much. It's rare. It's super
Okay.
rare.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Not normal.
Keep it simple, guys. Keep it simple. Hey, did Brett come on?
Yes.
Yes, he did.
Okay, I was on with Matt, so everything's good there. How much more time do you have, Sean? We're gonna go right to the hour.
No. I'll take Robert. Robert will be the last question, and then we'll move on to you, Rory. How about
Okay,
that?
that's
All right.
perfect.
Okay.
I'm excited. I want to get this. I want to show you guys some wine page stuff.
Cool. Robert, go ahead.
Hey, Sean, I just wanted to say, well, when you're doing the wine tasting, make sure that the people have like a drink of water. So when you're switching wine, they can swish their mouth out. So when they taste the newer wine because if not, the wine will start tasting all the same after a while without doing that.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. You definitely want to rinse your palate out and start with a fresh palate. Like I said, after like Rory was talking about just now, 30 wines. When you start getting to 30 wines, your palate is going to be worn out. It's just like exercising, right? The longer you exercise, the more tired you get. Well, your palate is the same way. The more wines that you taste, your palate will start to wear out. So definitely cleanse that palate. There's another thing is coffee beans. All right. So when you start smelling wines, I used to take around just little canisters of coffee beans, and because when you're smelling wine, it's the same way. Your palate actually includes your smell senses, right? In the back, right? So coffee beans also work well. Thank you, Robert. That's great pointing that out. So all right. Let's stop recording and show you what stop recording. Yeah.